Welcome back to another episode here in the Deadlands. Now, I've been doing a little bit of mining, trying to get some redstone because I'm running out. And yeah, I think I have enough now. I think it's time to head back up to the top. And well, it's about time we start working on some farms. Also, I just want to quickly mention I've started live streaming again over on Twitch. And yeah, I had a recent stream where I built a slime farm and then a honey farm, but the honey farm didn't end up working. I actually collected about 40 blocks by hand. But yeah, we got some farms we're gonna try to build today. And that's why we went and gathered up a bunch of redstone, just so we had plenty of this stuff for the future. And I got quite a bit of diamonds as well. So yeah, I'm gonna get this processed, get it down into the dust form, diamond stuff, and yeah, we'll get to farming momentarily. Yeah. So I've already gone ahead and built this tree farm. I didn't really think I needed to maybe show you guys the design of this. I already had this design. It's actually from the first season of the Deadlands. I just brought it back into this world and changed up the bone meal system that's here. It's much simpler and stuff, but yeah, it's pretty basic. You got the leaf crushers on both sides and a double piston extender here that pushes the logs over here into the blast chamber, and that's about it. This farm can do the four of the trees: spruce, birch, oak, and jungle. It kind of struggles with the jungle, but I figured we could probably just do a quick demonstration. Just grab some of those saplings, and we'll turn the farm on. So I'll just place that. We can watch it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And down below, I added a filter to this. That way I could collect the apples and stuff. Yeah, we see we got an apple there, got some sticks here, and that way just I could kind of keep it clean. That way I was only getting saplings in here. Maybe once this fills up, if it ever does, uh, maybe it would overflow into here. But yeah, so I just kind of went ahead and built this farm because what I want to do is I want to experiment with the other trees. So we've got the pale oak, the dark oak, and those are our 2x2 trees. Then we've got the cherry and the acacia trees that I think I could maybe get to work along with the two different oak trees. Mangrove, we will probably wait to do that sometime in the future, just because mangrove takes a lot of bone meal, and I don't have any, or I don't have much. So how do I start this? I've never built a semi-automatic uh dark oak farm, and I only kind of have an idea of what that's supposed to look like. So I could die, maybe. But we got to figure out where we're gonna put it. I think maybe clear out a little chunk here, and then we can kind of start experimenting with stuff. So how do I how do I start this? I think what I need to do is maybe just build like a basin for water, and then I don't know. We could have the TNT dropping onto the tops of the tree. I don't know if I want to do that. I think I'll try to have the TNT drop onto like some obsidian, and then yeah, I don't know. I have like some stuff for mine carts. That way I can get the back and forth thing, because you need to place the four saplings and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be weird because I don't really experiment with redstone in survival. So I think, where do I want this? Maybe make the basin maybe the same size. I don't know. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. What if I just stand down here in the water, doing the back and forth, placing the saplings, and I just have TNT coming down, right? And then I don't know. We'll figure this out. So what I'm thinking, kind of like what I just mentioned, maybe I'm like down here at this level, and we've got dirt maybe here, right? And so I'm just going back and forth, placing the the saplings. We'll probably have, well, I don't know. We'll need a bone meal. Where's my, like a dispenser there, bone meal in the thing. Yeah, that probably work. And I don't know, maybe, hmm, where do we want the TNT to drop? Pretty close, but not close enough to like destroy anything. I know the one that Renee built on Rotten Block. Got like, it's got a pusher at the bottom, and it pushes the tree or part of the tree up. That way you can continue placing saplings while things are exploding. Could probably try to do something like that. All right, I think this is enough that I might. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get something built. Well, we got ourselves a working tree farm. It's not here. It's over here in creative. I felt that maybe designing it all in survival was going to be more tedious, so I came over here into creative. So yeah, I felt trying to design this farm over in survival was going to be a little bit more tedious than it was worth. Plus, I didn't have much TNT to spare, so testing this farm in survival just wasn't going to be super practical. So I came over here into creative, and I'm not going to take credit for all this or this whole system. I took a lot of reference from the farm that Renee built over on Rotten Block, and I know he got this design from some other creator. So I can't take all the credit, but a lot of it is inspired from the same farm. Um, Up here, this is a pretty cool mechanism. Got the TNT duper that throws the TNT into the corner of the obsidian block there. And I think that helps to do the vertical exploding. That way more of the tree can explode and stuff. And I did have to come up with a mechanism for this, which is right here. So if I do that, yep. So I needed something to spam like an observer so I could power the dispenser that was here without butting the piston that's here. So this wasn't the original mechanism to do that. In the other farm, it had something more like this, where you have a dropper, observer, and then some redstone dust. Does the same thing, but I had an issue with butting that piston there. See how that dirt block there? Yeah, see. I just had this issue, and I had to come up with some other system for, I don't know, powering the dispenser there. But yeah, I had some other stuff. I was trying to be more original. Like this works, but it had the issue of like a lack of space. I didn't have anywhere where I could put the water safely. But yeah, that's basically it for the 2x2 tree farms. I am working on a concept for the cherry and the acacia. It's basically the same as the farm that we built earlier with, this system here. It's basically this without the leaf crushers and the 2 by or the double piston extender. It's 5 wide. So it can push the branches of the tree as well. So we can kind of play around with this just to show that it works. Yep, tree grew, and then we can press the button, pushes the logs out. And I have to do more testing with this just to make sure it's safe, so that I can get like a TNT duper in and stuff. So yeah, the farm's working, and all we need to do now is go over into survival, get it built, and we're going to be moving on to our first build project over at the canvas. So today we are going to get started working on the big warehouse that we want next to our canvas, along with all the other storage plots for the different farms in the area. But we're going to be focusing on the warehouse of this episode. So I've got some materials put together, and I've already done a little bit of work in creative to kind of get an idea of what like the colors were going to be, the shapes, the scale, and all that. So I think I'm gonna first get the face of this structure in place. All right. Well, we got the face of the warehouse all done, and I think it's looking pretty good. It is kind of looking a bit mansiony. I don't know, but we are trying to go for like an old-timey looking warehouse, you know. And I did pull a reference off of Pinterest, and if you were to type in old warehouse, this is probably what you're gonna see. And I am trying to get a little bit of the shelves in there since they're new and they're looking pretty good. But yeah, all we really got to do now is get a roof in and then maybe throw in some walls. That way we can close up the building here and throw in a doorway back there. Maybe do an interior wall. That way we can cover up some of this ugly stuff. And maybe add a doorway right here. That way we have access to the canvas. That way we don't have to go all the way back to the front just to get back into the warehouse. But yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. I think I just need to spend a little bit more time, close it up, get a roof in there. I'm thinking maybe some deep slate. Not sure yet, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna try to wrap up this build. Yeah. And there we go. We've got the warehouse all built and stuff. And I'm gonna stand over here on the canvas and I'm gonna throw up the image that I used as reference for this build. And as you can tell, there's not much difference between the two. But yeah, it does look good. I did struggle a little bit with the colors here. There's not too many light brown colors, so I ended up using white terracotta. It's a little brownish, a little bit, and some of that texture from the inside of the mushroom blocks, and some stripped birch and oak. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. As you can see, I'm using a lot of these shelves around the build, around the columns, around the windowsills, and around the doorways. The inside, I haven't done anything in here yet. I figured next episode we could probably kind of work on the design for this. But what I'm thinking so far is, I don't have much space along this wall, so I might do a little bit of storage between the two doorways there, and or do a staircase maybe up to the second floor. But along this other wall, I blocked up these two doorways. That way we could use the whole wall for storage. You probably also saw that I I started building the tower, and then I took a look from it from spawn over there, and it just didn't look that great. So I tore it back down, and I think for now this is what I'm gonna use for the warehouse. But yeah, next episode we'll work on the interior for that. Um, this build it does look a little. It looks like a medium-sized build over here, but over here, over at spawn, it looks pretty small. It's kind of dwarfed by the canvas. The canvas is pretty big, but yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Like to actually have some builds off in the distance is pretty nice. So earlier in the episode, I talked about how I'm back to live streaming or doing a little bit more live streaming, and I did a recent stream where I worked on the staircases here in the Nether Hub. I got rid of the scaffolding I was using to get to each portal, and this is what I came up with. So I built the staircases, and then I realized that there were a couple parts that looked like cat ears, so I made cat faces, and then I gave them big eyebrows. And I you're probably staring at it, but I also made myself a VTuber character. just so I could have like an animated element on the screen while I stream. And this this is what I came up with. But yeah, if you want to catch my streams, I'm gonna try to do it more often, and just go like check out my Twitch. Leave me a follow. That way you can get updated whenever I am streaming. Yeah. All right, I think this is where I'm gonna leave it. Next episode, I'm gonna work on the interior to the warehouse. Maybe even try to get the other tree farms done. Maybe even the warped and the crimson stems. I wasn't planning on doing that or adding that to the tree farms, but maybe I think maybe I'll do that. And if you want to catch any of my streams, just go follow me out on Twitch. I think I have a link in the description. Otherwise, you should be able to find the link somewhere on the channel. Yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.